smarts and my...
He told me enough.
No, I.
Here's Chuck.
Oh, wow. Just wow. Apparently, I learned something in 2019, like 5 years ago. It's apparently so fucking impossible to get a certain X-Men storyline right. They couldn't even get this right like 2 times now. 2 times they tried to adopt this and it's always fucking failed. Maybe it's a sign that maybe, I don't know, not every single story of the X-Men of this topic should ever be adopted into a film in the first place. If you can't get it fucking right, apparently. Yeah, even if Disney tries to get this right, even they'll probably fucking fail at it. But yeah, as you all know. But not only that, this movie, apparently they've now, 5 years ago, they managed to make a movie of this franchise even worse than X-Men Origins Wolverine. Apparently even worse. Apparently, that's at first for the time being that seemed impossible, but this movie managed to accomplish that perfectly. Because this movie was fucking worse than either of the so-called bad X-Men films. Yeah. But it's Don G. Corleone here, and as you can tell, I'm here with a brand new epic movie rant. And this epic movie rant is going to be for the last of the team to be for the reviews before we move on to the solo movies. And even that going to start off on a bad note. And this is going to be the long-awaited epic rant for 2019's Dark Fucknicks. Or as it's called, Dark Phoenix. It should be called Dark Fuck Off. Or Dark Fucknicks. Yeah, because this movie is fucking crap. Already. Now you know. This is one I can agree with every single X-Men fan. It fucking sucks. But, let's just get on with this review. Get this over with. So I don't have to talk about this bullshit. So yeah, the plot is, this is once again like the Dark Phoenix storyline is, it's about Jean Grey. So, this time around, a mission goes wrong, and Jean gets exposed to dark and ancient powers. And these powers destroy everything that comes in contact with until her. Now that these powers are becoming unstable, she releases these powers with destruction and anger. And this forward power is consuming her, and the world is threatened by these powers. And the X-Men now have to face an important truth. They can save either the world or their friend who threatens it with her mysterious little powers. Quote comic book guy when I say that. How was this even made? Well, when Days of Future Past erased the last stand from the series' timeline, and I'd rather watch that movie over this, Kinberg decided to do a new adaptation of the Dark Phoenix saga in a future film, and it would want to make it more faithful than The Last Stand did. And even Kinberg, because they were unimpressed with The Last Stand. Get out of my room! Yeah. This new adaptation would be confirmed as a follow-up to Apocalypse in 2016, and instead of being directed by Bryan Singer because his career was over and everyone found out what an asshole he was, Simon Kinberg would be directing the movie in June 2017. And of course the cast was coming back for this. So, filming began in Montreal and got completed in October 2017. But then in late 20... But, of course, apparently the test screenings were so poor, obviously, like, regardless, so any of this movie would be shit, regardless whatever version released. The third act got reshot in late 2018. And the film is dedicated to the memory of X-Men co-creator Stan Lee, who died on November 12, 2018. Yeah, I'm sorry. Stan Lee already had a good dedication, called Avengers Endgame. That's a better movie to dedicate his memory to, not this. Like, they thought this would be a good dedication to Stan Lee. This film is trash. Like, we already had a dedication to Stan Lee. Avengers Endgame. Way better one to dedicate to Stan Lee. Instead of this. No, like, and here's the thing. Apparently, as Zach Penn and Simon Kinberg were so unimpressed with The Last Stand, how in the hell would they be so fine with this kind of movie? Like, Bryan Singer couldn't come back because his career was shut down. So, like, there should have been and if apparently you can't make a good third act, maybe it should have been a warning sign to not make this fucking movie in the first place. Maybe there was clearly multiple warning signs that maybe it should have been better not to do the Dark Phoenix story again. If you couldn't do it right the first time, you sure as shit wouldn't do it right the second time. But after they fucked up the movie again, Dark Phoenix would be theatrically released in the United States by Fox on June 7th, 2019. And of course it was a critical commercial failure. It only made like $252 million worldwide on a $200 million budget. And Fox lost $133 million after marketing costs. And so, it's been often considered one of the biggest box office bombs ever made. And I can definitely see that reason. I didn't even go see this in fucking theaters when it came out, because when I was Empire fan, apparently watched this and fucking hated it. So I bailed immediately. And plus the trailers were crap anyway. The trailers, I could clearly tell by the trailers this film would suck. Regardless, so I dodged the bullets. And Empire fans' review back when he did reviews even also further helped me dodge a bullet by never watching this until now. Because as for my reaction, after watching this, I'm surprised they tried this movie again and people hated The Last Stand. Why would you make another Dark Phoenix storyline if nobody liked it the first time? They're trying to repeat the same mistake, and plus, Apocalypse, guess what? Apocalypse may have made $500 million worldwide, but it wasn't even that big of a hit domestically, so why even make another X-Men film? That should have been a sign that this movie would not do good at the box office. People didn't like Apocalypse, so it should have been warning that Dark Phoenix was clearly not going to be any better. Yeah. And then again, not only Empire fan hated this, every single fucking X-Men fan hate this movie. Shit. Yeah, they managed to make one worse than X-Men Origins, so it's not a shock. Just Dark Phoenix is the worst X-Men movie ever made. And guess what, guys? You know what's worse? SJW community, clearly seeing the title X-Men. Hey, X-Men's too sexist. Take it out. So, they took X-Men out of the title and just called it Dark Phoenix. But oh wait, you can put it on the DVD covers. Yeah. Fuck off. That's what they did. Oh, and that's even a fucking scene in the movie I'm gonna get to later. So yeah, but anyway, on to more of this. The acting is dull. McAvoy was great in, First Class, Days of Future Past. Kind of getting a little bit tired. Seemed like he was getting somewhat tired of the role of Apocalypse, but still trying his best. Dark Phoenix here, it seemed he sounded like he was just fucking done with this character. He was just done being in these movies. He wanted to be done with these movies here. But just by his performance in this movie, yeah. Here, just the way he sounds, just sounds so grumpy in the whole film. You could tell he wanted out. You could tell he didn't want to be in this movie at all. And clearly didn't want to be in these films anymore. Most of the movie, he gets treated like shit by his own students. The guy who basically taught them and took them in when nobody wanted them around. They try to make him look like a bad guy. Even though he's not, they victimize him way too much in this movie. They try to make us sympathize with assholes like Hank, or assholes like Mystique. when, like, Mystique has done nothing nice to deserve respect in any of these movies. And in the ending of the movie, yeah, gets deprived of his own school, and it gets renamed to Jean Grey School. And what shit did Jean Grey do to deserve that fucking honor? Nothing. And, like, the heart, mind, the light of form, like, why guy who gathered all these mutants, he's reduced to this sad old man, wastes his time as just drinking, sitting at his desk, and Magneto even comes to, like, Sweetness Days of Exile and treats him to a final game of chess because they need to recreate the ending of the first movie. Because this is the last one, since Disney bought them, they can't make any more. This film was a disaster. From the main character, Jean, the acting was bland, it's colorless, it's amateur-like. Like, honestly, Sophie Turner was horrible as Jean Grey. She ain't no Fam Jensen. And this was a terrible year for her in general. It seemed like everyone in this movie was aware of her limited skills and didn't want to give her any lines. It just seemed like she was just sleepwalking through her damn role. And her acting just screams as if she's so clueless most of the time. But yeah. And of course, like, around this time in 2019, we all know they were forcing gender politics in movies. Yeah, like, there's a line that references that. That was never part of the comics. Obviously. It's just pathetic and forced to pander to the crowd. Like, and the past of Jean Grey was way too damn long. And also just using flashbacks, like, all the time. And the movie just starts abrupt with a mission out of nowhere in outer space. And Professor X is literally useless again, more useless than Apocalypse, and just this cretin throughout the film. There's cringy dialogues. Jean almost says same shit every time she's alone, because apparently the movie thinks we're so fucking stupid to understand what she says, and we need to have it repeated in our ears. And the climatic shots are disgrace. Director thinks that making close-ups of actors is going to give tension, but it's ridiculous as hell. But anyway, how do we start the train wreck? Well, we start like 2 years after Days of Future Past, where an 8-year-old Jean Grey gets orphaned in a car crash, and her telekinetic powers manifest. Professor X decides to bring her to his school for gifted youngsters, and is going to teach her to control her mutant abilities. Then we get 1992, and we're seeing X-Men on a space shuttle mission. The shuttle gets damaged by solar energy. The president calls upon the X-Men to save the astronauts. So the X-Men, they go up to outer space. Okay, we're in outer space. What do we gotta do? We gotta rescue the crew. Oh, Jean, go rescue them. Oh no, I've been struck by the energy, and her psychic powers become amplified, and it's hard to control as her emotional state deteriorates. And then, like, when they get back, Professor X is like, I suppressed Jean's memory of causing the car crash as a child, so her trauma can be kept from making her unstable. Her aunt's power can destroy the mental blocks, though, and she's now experiencing PTSD symptoms, and her powers go out of control. Oh, once the X-Men get back to the mansion, there's, like, fans standing outside. There's like, hey, yay, the X-Men, yay, they're back, and, like, just fans are waving at them. One of them's holding a Mystique doll. For some weird reason. Yeah, even though apparently these people are, some little girl worships Mystique, despite the fact that Mystique has caused a lot of trouble in these past two fucking films. Plus all the shit in Days of Future Past. So they get back to the mansion, and here's the infamous SJW line. When they get back, Raven berates Professor X like, you're not handling your powers right, and you basically don't care about her. Yeah, because once again, this movie wants us to view Professor X as the bad guy. The piece of shit. Because of how he's handling Jean Grey, so he's the bad guy now. We have to be against him. He's the big bad of this movie. And we need to be siding with the people that want to kill her. No. Yeah, and that's also because he's a man. And now, here we go. Raven says, when was the last time you ever cared about anyone? All the fucking time, you dumb bitch. Yeah, says the bitch who betrayed him to join Magneto, says the bitch who exposed him, Quicksilver, and Wolverine to the press, and caused worse outcomes for the future, says the bitch who cares for, nobody but her fucking self in these past 4 films, who's done nothing but act like a lazy, bratty fucking teenager. Even though she's supposed to be a grown-up. and nearly got herself killed by Apocalypse, which honestly should have happened. And then when she saw the storm out, like, oh, and by the way, the women are always saving the men around here, so guess what? You should change the name to X-Women! Yeah, that's what she fucking says, and she storms out like a child. You might want to change the name to X-Women, and storms out, and Professor X is like, doesn't even like say a fucking thing, just sitting there like, what? Like, just confused look on his face, like, oh, I swear to God I didn't even want to bring this shit up, but fuck it, I have to say this thing anyway. Yeah, there's situations in here that are no meaning, just full of cliches, because it's like they didn't give a fuck anymore, they were out of ideas, going from one place to another without the plot moving. You go here, 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 here. It's just one exposure to tell you. Jean cannot control her powers, and that scares her. Like, I have powers, oh no, I can't control them, and they keep going out of fucking control. What does Quicksilver do? Oh, nothing. They just take him away from all the action because they've just used him to death at this point, so they have no more use for him. And the action scenes, God, the action scenes suck! Even more than they did in Apocalypse! Nothing is focused. Things just happen all the time. It makes no sense. Time just depends on what they want to show. Like, a scene at the same time of the action happening, and it's long, and then we move back to the action, like, time's frozen. Yeah. The scenes where characters try to get close to Jean, and it's so horribly done. It's like this dramatic screen, like, just having this dramatic shot of Charles every time. And it transitions the story a lot for the Alien Mute Party as well. Like, yeah, there's honestly just nothing to like about this movie. Like, yeah, like, honestly, like, this is from a guy who didn't even direct movies before. Yeah, I know he didn't blame anybody and actually took responsibility for it, but still, I'm not gonna give this movie a pass just for that. Like, and honestly, like, it's risky at this point for anyone to even try to greenlit a Dark Phoenix movie, and honestly, to even still make a fourth one after how divisive Apocalypse was. Like, they used Dark Phoenix during The Last Stand, and apparently nobody liked it. So they decide, yeah, let's do it again, and clearly learned nothing from The Last Stand. Hey, guess what? We're gonna make it better, but it's a risky move. You guys failed the first time. Oh, shut the fuck up. We're gonna do it again anyway. But no. Get out of here. Get out of here. Let us do our movie. Maybe you shouldn't. It was a bad call to let a guy who didn't even direct movies do it. Like, yeah, Sophie Turner had such a shitty performance. Like, yeah. Honestly, like, so yeah. After the whole operation and more dumb scenes of Raven and Hank trying to be together, being all in love, because we love to see that millions of times, even though I don't like seeing any of these two on screen. I think they're one of the worst couples in comic history ever. And it's, yeah, and you all know why it's obviously done. So Jean Grey goes to her hometown and sees visions of her dad and finds him alive. Apparently, I survived the car crash. And at 4 seconds or so, she recovers her memory. Hey, my memory's back, and my powers can't be controlled though. And so, oh no, I caused a crash that killed my mom. Then the X-Men arrive, and then a skirmish where Peter Maximoff gets injured. Yeah, like Quicksilver gets injured. Then Xavier, oh, I have to freeze everybody. No, I'll let Raven do this one. Hey, Jean, come home with us. But no, I don't want to hurt you. Jean, I promise, you won't hurt anybody. No, I can't. Yes, you can. No, I can't. Yes, I can. No, I can't. And then just power strike control. And then, oh no, I killed Raven. I gotta get the fuck out of here. Yeah, then after that, yeah, so after Raven dies, Beast walks up, like, no! Yeah, cries over his booty called dead. Like, I can't get my breath. Like, yeah, you have such shitty acting for the lady must not be named when she's impaled. Like, Beast, I can't catch my breath. I love you. Blah! And she's fucking dead. Yay! So here's one great thing that came out of this. Because in the scene, guess what? Ding dong, the bitch is dead. Ding dong, the bitch is dead. Yeah, we finally see this crappy fucking Mystique is dead. Like, when she got stabbed on the heart on that plank of wood, it was satisfying to watch because she was such a brat, these fucking movies. She was unsympathetic. They suck at even trying to make her sympathetic, apparently. They can't even make her sympathetic in these fucking movies. Yeah, the movie wants us to be on her side all the time when she's done nothing to deserve that. And yeah, now especially after she said that stupid X-Women line, She's finally out of the fucking picture. They should have killed her off in Apocalypse, but shame it had to be the worst X-Men movie to do it, but they finally fucking did it. So yeah, they go home, we gotta go hold a funeral for Mystique now. Oh no, Mystique is dead! And we're just all gonna be sad now. Some are like, Jean Grey killed her. No, she didn't. So yeah, we get back to Eric, he's now living on an island, and Jean wants help controlling her rage, but the military arrives, and they want Jean to surrender. She attacks them, and so Eric's like, get the fuck out of my sight, you're banished. Then gets found by Vuk, who's this leading shapeshifting alien known as Debari, explains the cosmic force that Jean absorbed wiped out the Debari planet, and everything it's past, and then was drawn to Jean, and then decides, hey, guess what, Jean? I'll help you how to use your power so safely. Come join us and let him be evil with us. Yeah, so that's where she goes. To the bad guys. This should, I'm surprised anyone would have had hope for this when especially considering this would be the last one, because Disney was going to get the rights to X-Men. Some people must have hoped that they would get one last X-Men movie right. No. Fox was like, no, we don't want to give up the rights. We want to keep the rights for ourselves. No, yes, mine, get off. That's mine. It's mine. I'm not giving you it. Yeah, that's super bad for just trying to fight over the franchise like a toddler fighting for his doll. Now, I feel bad for the cast for First Class, but yeah, honestly, because honestly, everyone here I don't blame any of them, because I could tell even they didn't want to be in these movies anymore. I feel kind of bad for them, honestly, because I like these actors and other things most of the time, so I don't blame them for their performances, to be fair. I think just every one of them was now so sick and tired of being in these movies. They wanted out of there. They were just done. They wanted to move on and do other things with their careers. Yeah, so they're good at other things, but this movie, all this was just boring, it's uninteresting, it's lazy, it's predictable. The enemies of the movie, they're not explained at all, they're just there because we're the bad guys. We need bad guys in the movie. Okay, so let's put these guys in there. There's minimal things Jessica Chastain's character says minimal things, except for that, there's nothing. All we just need for this movie, this should be called X-Men plot device, because we can't come up with any more ideas. We just need one more movie, because we're not going to get to make any more after this. And the dialogue, it's like the dialogues were wrote by children in preschool, writing crayons on pictures, and put them on the living room wall. So, yeah. If it's the problem with the cast or the story, but there's just nobody to sympathize with here. Most of the characters were either assholes, or psychopaths, or just boring, bland characters, get this, guys. This, as much as I don't mind Nicholas Hoult as Beast, this movie ruined all my sympathy for Hank. Because guess what, guys? You know how Last Jedi made Luke Skywalker an asshole? Well, guess what? Hank is now the same tree one, so now I'm gonna call this version of Hank McCoy Jake McCoy. Like we call Luke Skywalker in Last Jedi Jake Skywalker. Because even they make Hank McCoy such a fucking asshole in this fucking movie. That was not worthy of redemption after any of this. So yeah, Hank's like, you killed her. You're the one who caused Mystique to die. And all you've done was care about image. Yeah, so give me that drink, I'm smashing it. Should have protected her from you. And then he storms off like a big fucking baby, leaves the school, goes on, hey, Magneto, I'm gonna join you because my booty call died in front of my face. So okay, you can of course join me and we're gonna go kill Jean Grey. Yeah, let's go do it. Let's go kill one of my own students. Yeah, so Kurt's like, Eric's planning to kill Mystique. No, Eric's planning to kill Jean Grey. So I gotta teleport all of you to New York so we can go save Jean Grey. And then the two factions meet each other. Hey, let's duke it out, everybody. So Magneto, hey, there you are, Jean. Get back here so I can kill you. And yeah, and they're like, and you're teaming up with Vuk. But then he gets defeated by Jean's amplified powers. And then Xavier, hey Jean, read my memories, and you can come back. And helps her former personality resurface. So she attempts to let Vuk take the Phoenix Force from her. But then Scott Summers' Cyclops shows up, stops her. And then Vuk reveals the deep parts tend to use the Force to conquer Earth. Then government troops show up and try to subdue both mutant factions. Hey, you guys are attacking each other. You're under arrest. But Vuk escapes. So yeah, like after this movie, fuck Hank McCoy. They made him a piece of shit psychopath and basically blames his own friend for his own girlfriend's death and only turns evil because his stupid girlfriend is dead. And is perfectly fine with killing one of his own students and joining Magneto to do that. Like, after this fucking movie, Hank should have been banished from the school. Because, like, this guy is now an irredeemable piece of shit. There's no redemption for Beast after this fucking movie. Just betrays his own friend, all because his girlfriend is dead. Acts like always, once again, also blames Professor X, like Mystique did, and then goes to join Magneto and is willing to kill one of his own students, instead of trying to save her. Fuck you. Yeah, turned evil all because his girlfriend died. And like, after just this whole half, you just don't care anymore what happens to anybody. Like, if this was intended because they're gonna reboot the whole movie, but it doesn't matter in the end because another movie won't even get made. And the next one is gonna be done by Disney, and it'll probably also be just as bad. Knowing Disney today. Yeah, like, yeah. So yeah, what possessed, like, Marvel to allow this trash to happen? It's like, yeah. And like the quality of this movie, it feels like a low-budget TV drama show. And the over-top soundtrack is ridiculously annoying about 20 minutes in, and dramatic music enhances the dramatic scene, and it's played constantly throughout, like, yeah, apparently this was a great idea for a movie to go to theaters, like, yeah, just everything, the script, the score, the editing, the cinematography, the visual effects, they don't work here. There's just nothing great here. Like, all this is a sequel, ignores swaths to what came before it, it's just confusing as hell. Like, the Phoenix Saga, this is a story that's supposed to be well-defined, and very well-written, but they decided apparently they still can't get it right in movies, apparently, because they want to do something different with this, but, yeah, because they learned nothing. And they they want to do something different. They want to just make it more depressing, boring, and bland. And they probably know you'll still pay to go see the movie. And nobody fucking did. Because it bombed. Like it deserved. And yeah, I guess Simon Kinberg wrote and produced some X-Men films. Like, some are good, some are bad. And but his directing, this is his first time and it's dull. However, what I can appreciate is that he at least apologized for the movie being bad. So at least there's that. At least he didn't get all mad about it and people getting about people for not liking the movie like certain other people do. And I know this is definitely not the actor's fault for this movie. Like, I criticize Fox for writing this so horribly. Like, I don't blame most of the actors anyways. Like, I like most of them except for one that I don't need to mention. Yeah. Because they just look so fed up with this franchise at this point. Like, you could tell James McAvoy or Nicholas Hoult or Michael Fassbender, like most of the other actors, just about everybody in the cast looked like they were just so fed up with these characters. They're like, okay, let's just film this so that we can finally be done with these characters and go do other projects. That's probably, yeah. But how does this horrible fucking movie end? Because, well, after everybody gets arrested, mutants now find themselves confined on a train, and then Vuk and Debris forces attack, and the soldiers get overpowered, the mutants are free, then Charles and Scott go out, they goes, hey, Hank, Magneto, and the rest of your allies. Jean, they're still good in Jean, she can still be helped, so let's go fend off the attackers. So yeah, they fend off the attackers, and Vuk arrives again. Charles, hey, let me convert with my mind with Jean. And of course, hey, I forgive you, Professor X. We're all good. So, yeah, we're all good. Everything's all great now. We can all be solo. We can be friends again. So, she saves the mutants from the train wreck. And then, of course, hey, there's remaining debris. I'm going to disintegrate that. Yep. And then Vuk attempts to, I'm going to drain the force from Jean, who betrayed me. And then flies both of them to space, unleash all of her power and kill Vuk. Let's go to space, bitch. And they go up to space, and Jean then transforms, I'm going to transform to a phoenix, and I fly off into the sky. So yeah, then we cut to some time later. Well, time to rename, I guess I'm going to rename my school to Jean Grey School, forget the youngsters. What good has she done to deserve that? Oh right, nothing, like I've already mentioned. Well, I guess I'm gonna retire as dean. Hank, even though you tried to kill one of my students, and even though you treat me like shit and blame me for your own girlfriend's death, you get to take my place. So, Charles then banishes himself and goes to Paris. Hey, I'm gonna go to Paris. Hey, Magneto, it's great to see you again. Wanna play chess with me? Okay, let's play chess, but promise me you won't beat me easily. Yeah, deal. Yeah, let's do this. Ready to play? So we sit down, and there's a phoenix just flying to the sky, and the movie's fucking over. Yeah. So yeah. The only reason Jean Grey gets the school name after her, because it was clearly the SJW's idea. And why would Hank be allowed to be at the school again for being such an asshole? Like, it doesn't end with anything really completely. It just ends with them recreating the ending of the original 2000 movie because they can't think of anything else to end it. And they were clearly planning more sequels, but Disney bought them, so they had to redo everything and leave this on a cliffhanger. And it's never going to be resolved. Like, never ever. Never. Because they're going to be in the MCU. Yeah, I can't wait to see the X-Men twerking their asses like She-Hulk. I sure can't wait to see them being activists. I sure can't wait to see them making unfunny jokes. Be like, but what about Deadpool Wolverine? I don't fucking care! I don't fucking care about that upcoming movie because I'm not watching it. Okay? If you're excited for Deadpool Wolverine, each their own. I'm not. But that was the end of Dark Phoenix, and it's fucking torture. It's explosive diarrhea that deserves to be thrown to the toilet, flushed down, never be seen again, smashed with a hammer, thrown into the garbage, and burned in the incinerator like Toy Story 3. Like it deserves. Every single copy. So it never gets seen by the light of day again. Is there good qualities? Fuck no. Fuck none. Like, the only good things, I guess, that Mystique finally fucking dies. And the director at least apologized for this movie and did not attack the fans like Ruin Johnson or James Shitgold or Mindy Kaling or Halle Crazy or Crazy Kennedy. Even though the guy would later go on to direct 355, which also I thought was a piece of shit movie. Simon Kinberg has my respect though because he didn't attack people and didn't get mad at people. So I can respect him for that. Like, instead of being called Dark Phoenix, this should be called Dark Shitfest. Because it's a shitfest that can, honestly, yeah, this film can go fuck itself. Like, when it released, not a single person went to fucking see it. I sure fucking didn't. And I'm sure nobody bought this fucking movie on DVD either. It's like, oh my God's sakes. Like, yeah, and apparently, because this just shows, how about don't adopt the Dark Phoenix storyline in movies ever again? And this wasn't the only movie of 2019 to end its franchise on a shitty note. Game of Thrones ends on a shitty note in 2019. Dark Fate ends the Terminator franchise on a shitty note in 2019. Star Wars ended on a shitty note with The Fall of Skywalker, where Leia died because Carrie Fisher died, but Leia dies a shitty death. Palpatine even dies again a shitty death, yet make Anakin's redemption mean fucking nothing, and so Palpatine dies at the hands of a Mary Sue, who then suddenly names herself Rey Skywalker, even though apparently she was apparently Rey Palpatine. Apparently somehow Palpatine had children. For some weird reason that was never explained. And like, but Palpatine cloned himself. So who gives a fuck? It still ruins Anakin's redemption anyway. So fuck that ending. Rey Skywalker. No, you're not. Go home. Yeah. So there were four franchises that ended on a shitty note in 2019. 4. Like, maybe some degree Glass, because that ends with Bruce Willis getting his face thrown into a puddle and suddenly dying from getting drowned in a puddle. If he died from the water tank, it'd make more sense, but no, apparently he dies getting his face thrown in a puddle. Glass dies getting chipped over by his wheelchair, and then Kevin Wendell Crumb, which also played by James McAvoy, dies getting shot. So all 3 of them die. If it was the villains dying, it'd be more sense, but apparently even Bruce Willis literally died. Bruce Willis's character dies in a puddle. So wow. Of course. But yeah. Whatever, I'm fucking done. I don't want to talk about this anymore. This film has pissed me off to even talk about. So in the end, Dark Phoenix is total horseshit, deserves to burn in hell because it's a disgrace to the X-Men, and you definitely should never ever ever watch this movie, if you even haven't. And honestly, keep it that way. Just go read the Dark Phoenix storyline instead for this, and it's clear Hollywood can't get the story done fucking right, so don't do it in the first place. Okay? Anyways, that's it for my epic rant on Dark Shitnecks. If you want to hear me Dark Shitnecks, here's how I'm gonna rank this movie. So overall, if you love the Dark Phoenix storyline and want to see how this team gets their send-off, trust me, you're better off not even bothering. Just go read the comics or get a stack of papers and go write down how your version of this movie would go, because I think either of those scenarios are better, and I think any one of you guys would come up with a way better way to this movie to end this X-Men series. And if you're wondering how I'm going to rank Dark Phoenix, I'm going to definitely give Dark Phoenix a 0 out of 10. There we go, guys. And when you look at that, we did it! We made it through the team movies. Now we can get on with the solo movies now. Except even that's gonna start out horrible. Right. We know what started that off. Yeah, the movie's been retconned, but you still have to review it. So there's no way around that. Otherwise, it's not a complete review series if you don't review this movie either. Oh yeah. Oh god. Yep. Origins Wolverine is going to be next. Can't wait to suffer through that again. But yeah, we finally suffered the Dark Phoenix and it's over now. We don't ever have to revisit this movie again. And until then, guys, that'll be it for this epic rant. Thank y'all for watching. If you like this, want to see more, don't forget to like, subscribe to Don G. Corleone.